Morning everyone, Ian from DIY Home Gardening. 6th of October and I'm stood in front of the Vitex behind me, or common name Chase Tree. Pruning renovation video, so let's turn the camera around and have a look. As I say, we're first week of October. It's just come to the end of flowering. It flowers late summer through to early autumn and puts on a tremendous amount of growth, but it's worth it for the abundance of flowers which the bees and butterflies go absolutely nuts for. So yeah, October, but we're not going to prune now. We're going to come back early spring. I'll see you then. Right, so here we are, 15th of March, late winter bordering on spring, and sat in front of the Vitex Agnus Castus, and it is time for doing the pruning. So let's flick the camera around and we can have a look as to best ways to prune this superb shrub. Okay, so as always, start with nice clean sharp secateurs. As I say, we're pruning back end of winter, early spring. Reason being is that the plant is still in its state of dormancy, hasn't broken into leaf yet, but the buds are visible, so it makes it much easier for doing your pruning that way. Now, as always, start by pruning out any dead, diseased, damaged stems. So things like that, you can tell, well, one, it snaps quite easily. You can tell the dead bits by the fact it's gone sort of this greyish coloration as opposed to the browny grey. Also the fresh growth or new growth, healthy growth, has this furry texture to it, whereas the older stuff becomes dry to the feel, more brittle. So yeah, it gets a large shrub, almost class it as a small tree, and so it can cast quite a lot of shade. So what I've been doing the last few years as I do my pruning, I've been pruning out the bottom stems, which essentially lifts the crown, allows more light to transfer to the lower levels and to the soil, which in turn allows me to grow a few more plants around the base of it. So if I quickly set the camera up and then I'll show you how to prune the rest. Ordinarily, as I say, I'll take out the dead, disease, dying, which would be something like that, but probably find that most of that be taken care of when I do the main prune. So let's turn the camera around anyway. Okay, that's better. So dogs come to join in as well. So really easy on this. You want to always maintain that you're pruning just above your buds, and by pruning above the bud is going to stimulate the set of buds into growing. So if we're pruning there, for argument's sake, these ones are going to be taking over and you get growth driving up from there. Now, as you can see, it's pretty tall, pretty wayward, and quite easily puts on 3-4 foot of growth in one season. So as a result, it needs pruning back pretty hard. And by pretty hard, I mean taking off that amount. So pruning back to within a couple of sets of buds, essentially, of where the fresh growth was. Working your way around. Anything that's spindly, like this little piece here, thinner than a pencil, then I'll whip off anyway, because that's going to have absolutely no value. It won't produce flower that readily, and see on there there's a shoot on the underside. We'll take that off at the same time. As you go around, try and balance out these side growths. And as I say, I'm trying to make sure that I keep the base of it clear to allow maximum amount of light to penetrate through. When you get something like this, two shoots growing out at the same point, you want to make sure you remove one without damaging the other, and then you can prune that one again back to being a balanced piece. Dog keeps wanting the little stems. So nice and simple, whip round something like this where you've got the fork central piece, take out the central piece, and that's going to make sure you keep it nicely balanced and growing vigorously. And as I say, it's really simple to do this. We've got things like that, crossing branch, whip that out. So by crossing branch, it's because it's coming back through the centre. We don't want congestion through the centre of the plant. Ideally, this branch here should come out because it's exactly the same, it's crossing. Might be able to cut it with a secateurs. Oh yeah. So we take that out, soon grow back, and I say this is a nice forgiving plant, so if you prune too much it will soon recover and be begging to be pruned hard again next year. So start with whip your way around, and you can always do more at a slightly later stage should you need it. And the other thing to consider is that you can then do your cuttings from the plant when you get into the back end of summer, so that sort of gives us opportunity if we want to do some light pruning at that point. So I'm just going to remove that back one so you can see it's taking shape quite quickly. As I say, really quite soft stems, and we're just maintaining these cuts above the buds. Might have to step in there. So on something like this, I'm going to prune these ones to here, and then to maintain balance, these ones will get pruned to that point there. If you pruned them hard down, then it'll look a little bit unbalanced to the main thing. Whip that one down. So I said ordinarily take off the really spindly growth, keeping that small piece just to help balance out. And it's really that simple. Nice balanced plant at the end of it. Possibly take that back a touch more. So nicely balanced. Reduce the height by a good, well, 4 feet probably, and as I say, this will then come straight away up. You're promoting plenty of vigour into the plant, which means you're going to get absolute stack loads of flower throughout that late summer and into autumn period. And that is how to prune a Vitex Agnus Castus. If you've got any questions, then please send the questions to me. If you like the video, then please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that reminder button so you don't miss out on future videos that I'm doing. And above all else, just have fun, enjoy yourself, and perhaps try a plant, something a little bit different like the Vitax. You won't be disappointed. So until next time, bye for now.